after many failed attempts at being a right-wing influencer, including one attempt at creating a Kyle Rittenhouse themed video game, Kyle Rittenhouse, who you might remember as being acquitted of murdering 2 Black Lives Matter protesters in Kenosha in 2021, launched an anti-gun control nonprofit in Texas. That's right, anti-gun control nonprofit. And The Independent reported on it, writing, the nonprofit reportedly seeks to protect human and civil rights secured by law, including an individual's inalienable right to bear arms, and ensure the Second Amendment is preserved through education and legal assistance. Now, of course, Texas is a state that already has lax gun laws and has had 9 mass shootings in the past 14 years. So maybe Rittenhouse can advocate on the behalves of the mass shooters and their rights to own guns, which I'll get into a minute. He quite literally is, but he isn't entering into this venture all by himself. Mr. Rittenhouse is listed as a director along with prominent state political activist Chris McNutt. Sorry, I'm immature. The president of Texas Gun Rights and the Defend Texas Liberty PAC treasurer Shelby Griesinger, the Tribune reported. The foundation's registered agent is the law firm of Tony McDonald, whose social media bio declares that he sues the state of Texas for not being right-wing enough. I said this earlier, but I promise you, you don't have to be smart to be a lawyer. Some of the dumbest people I've ever known are lawyers, including that guy.
But look at Ben Carson, right? I mean, he's a brain surgeon. There are different kinds of intelligence.
Right. And just to sort of get into why this is so heinous, just wait until you hear what else he's been up to. Because from The Independent, he joined gun rights activists in opposing a Texas State House bill that sought to raise the minimum age to purchase semi-automatic weapons from 18 to 21 in the wake of the Uvalde shooting a year earlier. So this was a bill being, advocated for by parents who had their children brutally murdered in Uvalde, Texas. And he stood on the opposite side of this issue. And it's not the only time he's done this, because here's a picture of him next to candidate Brandon Herrera, who's also a far-right YouTuber, and Rittenhouse endorsed him for his congressional race. Mr. Herrera is looking to defeat Congressman Tony Gonzalez, whose San Antonio district includes Uvalde, and backed a bipartisan gun safety bill in July of last year. And wouldn't you know it, one of the reasons that Brandon Herrera is running against him is because he says that he's too strict on gun control, and that he wants to advocate for the behalf of gun owners in a district that includes Uvalde. I mean, Jackson, this is just like repulsively heinous. The way, first, for Kyle to come in, not even from the state, and to just immediately join in with the faction of people who are fighting against common sense gun control. It's just gross. It's just gross.
Well, first, Kyle Rittenhouse to me just seems like a guy who got a lot of fame and clout that he wasn't necessarily looking for. Like, I don't think there's any way that he could have known that he would have become as famous as he is. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if one day he gets elected into some type of office, because in the conservative lane, in the Republican space, I don't think that his notoriety, his fame rather, I don't think their appreciation for him is going to go anywhere. So I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of Kyle Rittenhouse in the future going ahead, and again, maybe even in office somewhere. But I want to point out how ridiculous it is. And we know that the majority of the country is in favor of doing things like raising firearm purchasing ages to 21. But I'm a grown man, but I'm a rather young grown man. I'm 31 years old, right? So when I think about myself at 21 or 21, it's like, bro, you can wait till you're 21 to get a machine gun. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that pressing, you know what I'm saying? And most of the people who are like really up in arms, who are really mad about any inclination of gun control, they probably got like 40 or 50 guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the buyback program that they had in Buffalo, New York. It went well, it was successful. They gave people, I think, $500 gift cards and then like $250 gift cards for every semi-automatic weapon that was turned in. But these, again, it went well, but hey, if I got 10 semi-automatic rifles, then I'll turn in 3 of them and make a quick $1,000. Why not? So my point is that There's more guns than people in this country. And it's like, bro, you can't wait till you 21 years old to own a weapon like that. Really, right, bro? Like, what you got going on? Who you think you is? It's just, it's obviously it's stupid, but luckily the majority of the country is on the side of common sense, but corporate corruption.
Right, and they want people to, be able to, as at young ages, own these killing machines. But God forbid a doctor prescribes a child with gender affirming care. Then you have to be, more. You have to at least wait till you're well into adulthood. I mean, the hypocrisy with these people is off the charts.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.